Good morning and slightly afternoon. Nana here, also known as Judy Allan. And today we're making a creative alternative using the envelope from this month's. It's actually what the March's paper pumpkin kit, right? Because we haven't received the April one yet. So there you go. So let's go down the hands and do this, because if you're like me, you have a busy schedule and things to do because it's Sunday, Easter Sunday, and gonna be doing family things. So here's some of the things that we've already made. All right, so we're not gonna make those, but I just want to show you what we've already made, and then let's get down to what we're gonna do today. So I put my little post-it. So one thing I've figured out is that as we go from the hands to the combo where you can see me and everything and all, it's like it changes the dimension of everything. So that's been a learning curve the last few days. All right, so this is the envelope we're going to start off with. And all we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to cut on the edges here just to get the paper off, right? So we'll be able to use it. Now I have to get a little bit more than that. And I'm almost ready to size it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Right, because you can always give birthday cards. I've done a number of Easter cards, but we can do birthday cards. You never have enough birthday cards. All right, so it's going to open up like this, but I want to be sure to use this right here. So I'm going to cut on the score line here that's already on the envelope. All right, we're just going to put that aside. And then I need this. We're going to use this that's left over. So we're using my leftover stuff in my kit. So we're just going to fold this in here. So to sit there and show this blue, we're going to have to size this down to, you can see how big this is. We're going to have to size it down to 4 by 5 1/4, because this is right here is 4 1/4, and this is 5 1/2. So we're going to have to size this down. So I'm just going to start off with sizing this down to 4 here. Get this flip our hand. My mind is preoccupied. Been doing retreat stuff. Been doing my monthly club. So it's just different things going on. Easter stuff, make sure you get everything planned. All right, so it's just going to go like this right here. And now because it's the envelope, sometimes when you cut it, you can get this little fuzzy stuff. Just take it off with your fingers if it bothers you. All right? Because that's pretty much it on that cutting board right there. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. And that's just how easy it is to create a card, right? You just use the envelope. The envelope's pretty too. I like to use the envelope to show you how you can create alternatives with this. And so when we do this, we have choices, right? We can either do it this way, or we can do it this way, right? Landscape mode or portrait mode. I plan on going this way, all right? Because I can. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this and lay this here right here. We're gonna put it up in just a minute. And then the thing here is I want to go ahead and get my sentiment down. The reason is because we're gonna build around this sentiment. Okay? So the sentiment I'm gonna use is sweetest birthday wishes. So I'm trying to make sure, right? It's really so new. Trying to decide where you are and the camera, especially when you're going to switch different modes and all, right? So I'm going to put this right here. All right. So I already know that I want to sit there and trim this out in this blue too, because it's really going to pick up the blue right here. So I'm just gonna make sure I have just enough, right? Just enough blue to give it just a little bit of an accent. That's it. All right. So I can go ahead and put this down. I'm going to go ahead and use the glue for this one. Yeah, so you do, we kept dimensionals in this one, right? We didn't have any bling or ribbon. So we can create our own stuff, right? We can. Now let's go ahead and just get this on here, and then we're going to trim around it. So you really don't need a whole lot, right? We just want enough, just a smidgen of color. Because I'm using the back, this is leftover from last week where I cut the flap off and everything else. And then we're just going to trim around it because we just need, like I said, just a smidgen. We can decide if we want to trim around. I think I'm just going to trim like this. I'm not going to try to trim around those little fancy little edges there. I just need enough blue, like I said, just to pick it up. I'm just going to do the same thing down here. So tell me, I'm looking at everybody else's Easter plans for the weekend. I've got some cascaroni eggs ready for all my special peeps that want to do that. All right, so I'm just going to lift this up on dimensionals, all right? So I always have extras. It's like, you know, when you get your kits, just save all your extra stuff because there's always extra stuff that you can use. Yep, and that's pretty paper right there, but that's what we're using. So I'm just flip that over. Yeah, so right, I'd be interested to know what your Easter plans is. I know somebody's going to go to the beach because they already told me that. I wish we don't have plans on going to the beach, but the beach sounds definitely very nice. I'm just going to put it right up here because it leaves me more flexibility, right? And then I'm just going to put this right here. And you can do that. I'm going to do it right like that because I can, right? So one of those things is when you're creating, you can create any way you want to, right? Because we're not getting a grade. We're just about creating and sharing, and we can give it to someone. So it's more or less of who you're going to give it to, right? So since we don't have any bling or ribbon with this, I could either go from my stash because I always got plenty, or I can do just what I'm doing right now. I'm going to sit up there and put that down with a glue dot, a smaller flower just to keep it in place. And I can always add Wink Stella, right? Wink Stella is always an option. Now let's get this right here. Yeah, so I don't know. No, none of the kiddos have said anything. However, tonight's family game night, so I'm not sure if we'll discuss Sunday then. Right? It's not like we have little ones. All the crew here are actually adults. Just a minute, let me get that back where I had it a minute ago. So the one thing I do like about this is that's flexible enough, right? I can do this, and then if I want to, all I got to do is snip it, and I can anchor it down right here, and that'll be fine too. And I am going to anchor that down just so it stays in place. So basically, I've lifted it up to attach here without using a dimensional. And the bigger flower is on a dimensional. And so that's, did that come off? It did come off. Okay, good. Really was sort of hard to tell, right? So I'm going to have it right like that, okay? Now we also have some other flowers here I wanted to incorporate in here because there's no reason why I can't, right? So this is one thing I like is right is because we're not getting graded and we can do whatever we want to do. So it's just a matter if we want the bigger flower. I sort of like the bigger flower. I wasn't too sure if that was too big or not. And I had this little one as well too. So we have just different things that we can add in here, right? See, 1, 2, 3. I'll leave it like that. All right, so this one here, I was going to get some of this honeycomb in here. Let's see if we can still do that. Just to give a little extra accent. Because that's what came in the kit, right? So I'm going to actually use, I'm trying to think, I'll use a glue dot. It's going to be hidden for the most part. I just want it to stay in place, right? I don't have to put a glue dot everywhere. I just need to put a glue dot somewhere to get it to stay down. Because when I go and put my flower over it, like right here, see, I can actually get that part. Now, I don't want to cover up my words, right? So that's what you got to look out for. So I'm just going to sit up here. And the nice thing about these flowers are, right, talked about this once before, and I'm looking for my bone folder, and I think I did it at the same time last time, too. Here it is. All right, so we can curve the leaves, right? So if you want to cut between the leaves, you can. But we can also use, if you got a pen, anything that's round, right, that's going to help you to get it 3D. Just use whatever's handy for you. Okay, so see when I do this, how it's going to look? So I'm going to put this on a dimensional. Just like that. So, right, I don't want to cover my words. I just want to, right, can accent everything. There you go. And then I'll do the same thing with this little one right here. And then we can add just a little bit of Wink Stella. You know, we add it because we can, right? I'm going to use a smaller dimensional on this one. That's not a smaller one. I'll just create my own smaller one. I do have some smaller ones here, but let me just go ahead and create this here. Alright, don't sweat the small stuff. There's always options. I'm just going to put this right here. So the only other thing I'm really going to do with this now, because I've got my card made, and I just have to put on the inside what I want to say. Just going to put this right here. Alright, and all I'm going to do is add Wink of Stella because I can, right? And you could add some bees. I have some metallic bees. Would be cute. I'm trying to think, any kind of bling will look cute because this is nice and springy, right? Alright, and I think that's it. That's how easy it is for us to create an alternative using an envelope. So there you go. I hope you enjoy that, right? It's sometimes I think we make it complicated, and it's really not, right? Let's see what I got going on. Hello, Bertner. I know you're going to get to go to the beach. Well, I wish I was, but I'm not. So, have fun for both of us. That's all I can say. Have fun for both of us. So I hope you enjoyed it, right? Because this is just really simple. And you just took the envelope, like I said. This is a tag that was already in the kit. The blue back here that I just accented with was left over from the envelope we cut up last week. Is the back flap of the envelope. And this was the actual envelope that we cut up right here to make this happen. So I hope you enjoy this, right? Because it's all about creating, sharing, and giving, right? And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do with this right here. So most of the envelopes, there was 2 other type of envelopes that could easily been converted as well too. So that would have been 2 more cards, right? So go out there, create, share, and give. Have a very amazing Easter weekend. And let's see what else. I want to thank you for following us. Oh, she's in Tampa now. Oh, she's a traveling lady. All right. So anyway, I want to thank you for supporting us not only here on Facebook, but also on Instagram and YouTube. With that, have an amazing weekend. Look forward to seeing you next week with our last alternative. You need to go and make those cards with your kids on your cruise and give them away to people. Have fun on your cruise. Bye.